Pan Celtic is an ultra endurance bike ride. It could be classed as a race for some people. It's been going for its third edition over the last 4 years. They had a break year before last due to COVID. And it incorporates 2 of the 6 Celtic nations each year. Celtic nations being Brittany, Cornwall, Isle of Man, Wales, Ireland, Scotland. I think middle end of last year I decided to take on the Pan Celtic this year, and I was like, right, this is something I really, really want to do. I feel like I've ridden quite long distances for probably about 3 years. Prior to that I'd ridden like 30 miles, 50 miles, maybe done the occasional century ride. I'd never even thought about going further. A couple of friends cycled from Bristol to Holyhead. They went on fixed gear track bikes. They took like 6-7 days, and another seed was planted that I'd never even considered to take a track bike touring. I'm always looking for something I haven't done, and bought a bike last year, like an appropriate bike to do the race. And more as time went on and got closer to the start of the Pan Celtic, I realised that I really wanted to try and ride it on a fixed gear bike. I'd emailed Toby and found out that no one had ridden it on a fixed gear bike before, partly to prove it's possible and just set a bit of a standard and say like, right, you can come and do these races and not have all the mod cons and have a really expensive bike. And you're riding the same roads, you've still got the mechanical aid of a bike, and yes, it's a bit harder and you take a bit more on like doing it, but I was really, really excited to try that. So I felt like it was a bit of a calling to do it.
Right, welcome to the video of Pan Celtic. We have just started. Let's start. Woo!
So we started out of Celtic camping in St David's, and we had 28 miles to ride to Pembroke Dock.
Loz.
And it was really exciting. I remember getting on the ferry, loads and loads of people, it was super hot, and still feeling pretty nervous at this point. I wasn't really ready to get into it all.
All right, on the continent.
The road surfaces were really bad for the first couple of hours, and things started to improve into the next day. And once we got into the southwest corner past like Skibbereen, things started to open up into the coastline. It was really, really gorgeous, like rolling hills, stuff that I could still ride, which I was really, really stoked about.
Day 2. It's 3:30 in the morning. Just had 2 hours sleep. Feel pretty good.
So the first couple of days, settling in, getting into a routine, pretty warm weather, finding loads of taps, finding loads of places to chuck my head under, get my feet in the sea, keep cool. And on the Tuesday, the 3rd day, I got to checkpoint 1, which is up a huge observation station on a big mountain at Mount Gabriel. It was in good spirits. First bit of rain, but that settling of the tension that I think I'd had in the first couple of days, I was like, right, I can settle in now.
Right, we've made it to checkpoint 1. It's getting a bit bleak, first bit of rain.
And we're leapfrogging loads of different riders, and I found people were really, really stoked to see me. I always brought good energy onto the road, but I think deep down some people were quite pissed off the fact they weren't any further ahead than someone who had 1 gear.
This is so ugly.
I wasn't really sure if I would get to Dingle. I was kind of like, if I get to Dingle, I know I can ride the first half of the route. It's really, really hilly. And after that point, I knew it was a lot flatter. So I was like, right, if I can get to Dingle, I've got the race in the bag. So I got through Monday and Tuesday, pretty tough going, a few tears, but I knew myself and I think I knew I could get through it.
I started 11 hours ago and I've only done 92 miles.
Apparently I burnt 9,000 calories. This is 800, so I need 10 of these.
So I got to Dingle, checkpoint 2, Wednesday night. Shared some good stories, some good dinners with people in the Dingle hostel, Grapevine Dingle. And the next morning got up relatively early, and rolled out with other people. I was feeling super inspired. I was like, right, this race is on. Like, I've worked hard to get here. I've done a certain amount of mileage up to the Dingle checkpoint each day, and I was ready to like start trucking and start like doing more miles. Basically, I wanted to get the game up and start trucking.
This trip is something else.
So I started sending it up the coast and had really good tailwinds. I put a big gear on my bike. I've got a flip-flop hub.
I'm gonna put the big gear on and I'm going over to 42.14.
But it was fine line. Like I didn't really have 20 to 30 minutes spare a day. From the minute I was waking up, getting fuel on, drinking water, getting miles in, stopping at a shop once a day. You had a really fine window of continually having to chase miles. And I quite liked it, but having a plan was a blessing and a curse because I had to kind of stick to this plan. At the same time, there's no room for error. So the middle end of the race, I was trucking up the coast. Loved the area in the northwest into Connemara National Park. It was the most gorgeous area. Like, the scenery is incredible. Bahamian, like Caribbean beaches, white sands, mountains in the background, terrain that was flatter that I could ride. I was going real quick, feeling really good, meeting people. Towards the end of the trip, on the Saturday, day 6, I rolled over a rock, punctured my tyre, cracked the carbon rim, and I've got one rim brake on the front and it had cracked the braking surface. So in quite a lot of haste and urgency, I decided to try and ride the last 230 miles to Dublin without using my brake, to ride brakeless. So I started riding brakeless from outside this little town, and about 20-30 miles down the road, my legs were in serious pain.
And I'm averaging like less than 10 miles an hour with a lot of stop.
So I decided to sleep on a beach, drank a bit of whiskey, woke up, set no alarms the next morning, and decided to work it all out next day, and basically hobbled to the finish.
It's a bit much.
I think that's a bit of who I am. I think I do strive to make things hard for myself, and I'm continually asking the questions of like, oh, I wonder if that's possible. Finding maybe not the limit of my body, but finding the capability.
Hey, cup of tea, amazing.
I'm Loz Walters. I'm Clan Rider 222. I raced in the Pan Celtic Ultra Endurance bicycle race this summer, 2022, and I'm from Bristol.